Hi guys, I hope you are doing all right. And one of the thing which really makes me confused, right? Uh, like a thing which you really wanted at that time, it might not get you, and then you kind of move on from it, and then it comes after you, right? Probably I've seen this thing with girls as well, right? Sometimes you really want to go something with a girl, and it doesn't happen for you. And when you walk away from it, and then automatically it's like you start attracting that thing. And same way, even I've heard this, like people, married people, right? Married couple, once they get married, then they get more attention from other women or female, right? So this world is very confusing. Same way, why I'm talking, no, probably not. It's not a dating video. Uh, the thing which I want to tell, like second time I got approached, like this time Google approached me, right? For the again AI engineer job. And previous time I actually applied to the Google, then I got selected for the interview, and then I went for the third round. And this time I didn't want to do any job. Right now I'm at a position where I don't want to do any job or anything else, right? And pretty much checked out from the market, right? I'm checked out, guys. I'm already engaged, something like this, right? And then Google reach out to me on LinkedIn, and the idea was like, okay, anyway, I don't like to work, but somehow I would like to like see like this always there is always a hype, and the Google has such a big reputation, right? If you work for Google, whatever payment, I don't know what the payment structure. I don't think it is as much as it used to be at back way back then. Now I think startups and new companies are pay much more higher than what Google pays. But that's a relevant topic. The name is so much better. Like you get all the validation, right? You get all the validation in your family and friends if you work for Google. And so that was the thing. Like I thought, okay, I don't want to do it. That's fine. But there is no harm giving and cracking an interview and getting the offer. Then you might decide like if you want to do the job or not, right? Or even if I have to do, I will probably like to work for like one project which might go for 2 3 months or something, or 6 months or something, and then probably like resign off. And then the reason would be to just get this name checked on, like this, oh, I worked in Google, I'm quit Google, just to make some name on YouTube maybe. So that would be my idea, that okay, let's go this route. And I did a lot of shit on DSA, if you've seen my last 2 3 videos, right? And told it it's very overrated. Although I did clear the basic DSA round in my first Google interview, and it was very simple. He didn't went a lot of deep. It was a telephonic round. At this time, it was quite different. So I was reached by them on LinkedIn. HR reached out to me, and yeah, we had a Google meeting which was scheduled on some day, and unfortunately that day the HR was not feeling well, so he kind of postponed it to other time. In the second time also he was not there, so he actually replaced me with some other HR, some girl over there. And she was the person to like go through the first filter. So she was not, I think, prepared, I think, and she basically treated me like a fresher. And she opened up her folder of like how what to deal with freshers something, and she started with a lot of DSA questions like trees, and these are like big loops, like 3 loops one after the other. I think 5 questions on DSA, and I will say I did solve like 2 of them correctly, maybe, yeah, 2 of them. And I think 5 or 6 questions were there, and then there were like 3 4 questions which I knew it would be wrong, right? I haven't practiced. I was not expecting that to be asked on the first meet. I thought first meeting will be the explanatory, like how the proceedings, like how the setup is, how the interview will go. Generally that happens in the Google form. They don't ask questions or something like this. But she started with that. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And it went ahead, and on the when I saw the question, I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna answer because I haven't touched DSA like way back from my college days, right? And I never thought it would be necessary because I have never used any concepts of trees or sorting or something like this, or or anything like any big I got questions where there were three loops and so many conditions and all this thing, right? I haven't used in my in my real job, AI job, right? Because in our community, if you have to write something in three loops, bro, you are a shitty programmer, because that will increase the latency so high. So I reach the state where I have to use three loops, because there are always a good solution where you don't have to loop through three items, and that will basically increase the complexity of the problem and the time and memory. So we always deal with a lot of factorization and like solving through matrix multiplication and these kind of thing, right? Basically doing in the form of matrix so that we can utilize GPU, right? Our programming is designed such a way that it should not be done on CPU, mostly done on GPU. So there, these data structure thing doesn't make a lot of sense. These big loops or things doesn't make a lot of sense, right? I haven't done. I didn't. Uh, like for me, I'm not that good if you ask me. So I went. I told them that okay, I am not very comfortable with this question. I thought it would be more like on the subject base. So these people told me that it happens once we filter through a lot of candidate, and then in the next round, actually, this the thing which you work on the this thing kind of goes on, right? And she wanted me to pass that exam, right? She was very helpful and everything, because the way I introduced myself, I think she was very like she like I did give them a good impression when I introduced myself, right, about my projects and everything. So they was quite impressed with them. Then she was willing to help, but she cannot go and spoon feed me the answers, right? So I told her like I probably am not the right guy for this thing, and maybe if you like maybe if I could prepare a bit or something like this, then probably I will be able to give it something like this. So I think I midway I told that okay, please, I don't want to waste your time and my time. I'm pretty sure that I'm not able to answer this question which you are trying, because I've never touched it. I've never used in my work. Basically, these are only for tests, right? It's like I am the DJ and you are trying to check my DJ skills by giving me a fucking harmonium or something where you want to say do sare gama pa, right? So that was it. That was the thing over there. So they, it's because I I have not never like these things have been taught, but I've never used in my real projects and anything like anywhere nearby thing anywhere I haven't been. Probably if I was in data engineering or something, there it might be well as a data scientist or a deep learning engineer. I never use those things. And so problem with these guys is that there are so many people who are really good with DSA. They are practicing DSA for a long time, doing a lot of lead code questions, and Google will not go to them. Right? I'm in a state like I don't want to do a job, and like they would reach out to me and give opportunity to a guy like me who doesn't want it. Like I'm okay, not going to Google or something. I'm very much okay. But this is a vicious cycle that they are trying to reach me. But there are so many good people who are good in DSA and these all things. They will not reach it to them because they don't have the other thing which I have, like those so much projects, the experiences in deep learning AI, which I have. Because of that, they have reached to me LinkedIn. And the interviews taken by the dumbest people on there, I think the whole spectrum. Google, first of all, if you're thinking Google does a lot of good work in India, forget it. Google, Infosys, TCS, they are at same level. I think maybe 10-15 years ago, I would say TCS and these are the small service based company, I think has, they will probably not pay you less, they pay you that much at Google, but there is a high chance that you will do a very fantastic work, go into a very high end project where a lot of technical are used. But with Google, I'm not sure, but what I'm sure is that with Google in India, there is no Google. There is Google Cloud in India. First of all, just segregate. Whenever somebody reaches out in India, it's not Google. It's Google Cloud. It is the part of Google, and basically cloud maintenance, anything, any work or something like all dirty work has to be done in India. Nothing big in AI generative, or they will put you in Gemini team or do some big modeling or something like that. That is, then you will never get. That is for USA. They hire PhDs and these big people. They will basically snatch people from other companies, right? That hiring is totally different. So if you are somebody who's very enthusiastic about learning, trying to experiment things or something like this, I would say Google is not the right place. Yeah, if you want somebody who is very normal, just wants a job, wants the security, just he is not, you are not very excited about the things coming, just okay now, want to do, want to have a family, get the validation, get a good arranged marriage maybe after that, then probably you're the guy you can go for. But somebody who's very experimental, who is very enthusiastic and learning more stuff, I don't see anything over there being great happening over there. And the vicious cycle about Google is that, yeah, they will not reach people like who are really going doing understand those kind of things. So these dumb HRs wants to take the first filter, and then they will supply. Basically, they're selecting like gadhe. Like in Hindi, this like you want to filter for gadhe, and then in the third or fourth round, they want to see which is the fastest gada, right? Basically, you're selecting the what are the best donkeys, and then which donkeys is the faster in the second round. So first filter, you are like you don't know. You are maybe missing a good deep learning engineer, or maybe an engineer who is very much good to that role which you're looking for. But you are fucking taking a test on a different wavelength, different what they said, the dimension. And so now that person will never go over there. And the idea was that, oh, we want to make sure that whatever the candidates we filter out, it should be basically in they wanted to increase their hiring ratio. Like whatever they pass on from the first round, it should basically definitely get selected. Right? Basically, you are the basically the main. Let this work handled through the people who are experts. Right? They join whatever they on. They first of all, I don't know. Their hiring system is quite weird. What I say. So they first filter goes through them like what HR feels like, right? So in their eyes, if you're smart, they already like in if I relate this thing to AI, right? When I was in NLP, right? We used to make models where we will lose lot of information. Basically, whenever we read some text sentences, paragraph or a document, I'm talking about NLP, there we would read only picked up words and tokenize it and send it to the model. And in that process of reading those texts, what we do, we neglect which font they are in, which letter is capital, because we turn it lower because that kind of increase the embedding size. So we lose lot of information on the first way only. The spaces between the lines, if there is italic, if there is a bullet points, or these kind of information we lose it, and then we pass on to the next level. So you are already losing a lot of information, then you're trying to process. These models didn't perform really well in my companies where I have worked, where we have to read the text this way, because this is a very lazy way of doing things. And so I've known companies who revisits back and then they actually fix the model. I think this is the big difference between ChatGPT 2 and ChatGPT 3 even. Like, there was a big differentiator between these models were that their next model ChatGPT 3, they were including the spaces, information of the spaces. Any information is very important, right? When you deal with AI, right? AI models, and the input should have all the information. So like your first filtering is wrong, then what you're expecting here, right? Answers, right? So these guys are taking first round. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. The HRs will take the first round and they will pick those donkeys over there, and then the other guys, good guys actually, who understand the technology and everything, they has to pick from the like worst of the candidate which has been picked by first people. So things, so they will never get the right employee. Maybe you will be thinking, I'm coping that I'm not selected. That's why I'm saying that I'm just trying to find a reason to justify I'm not being selected. But no, bro, I know my biases. I could tell. So that's not the really case. Uh, so this kind of thing they do, and that is very bad. I know a lot of people who are good with DSA and this systematic way of handling the thing which the Google HRs are looking for. But if they go through that, they will probably the good guys, actually the guy who is educated, the engineers, Google engineers who actually is capable of finding who are the right deep learning engineer or something. So their group, their subset is already a bad subset. So in the end, they has to pick one of them, right? So they will never get the best right. And then I'm pretty confident that any competition I think, or if I have to deal with, if you're even a Google, bro, I think I'm way ahead than people. Because think like somebody who is has given his time to some bullshit things which is not being used in their work. Like spend so much time going through these kind of things, like, which is not actually be you'll be using in your work. And then the other engineer truly focused on the thing which is will be using, like the maths and the deep learning models and everything, right? I will be a better deep learning engineer than somebody who because it's basically simple math, right? And this amount of time I've spent over there is so much higher than the other person because I'm not going and practicing for 1 year a DSA or something, wasting my time over there, right? Somebody who's let's say like somebody who is like given 2 years, 1 years of DSA and blah blah blah, and then only two years of deep learning, and somebody who's 4 years he has given on deep learning or something like this, right? So that person will be like better than that guy, right? So that was saying it's a vicious cycle. I don't know if Google it happens with Google or other people because I know startups and all good startups they don't care about. They actually will interview on the basis of what kind of work you will be working over there and your expertise, and you will pretty much able to clear out those things if you are really expert in that area and the things which actually use in the work, right? So you don't have to worry about that. But the companies like this, even like a lot of service-based company, their methods are like this only. So I would tell them don't reach out to people, but they will not reach these guys who are good with late code, DSA and everything. They don't have bunch of projects because they are wasting time over there. So it's like ruining for both of the people. Like somebody who is following the systematic approach, they are not being reached out by Google, right? Because they don't like the resume in the first place. And the second one, when they like from the guy like you have done so much, accomplished so much projects and experience everything, and then you're trying to. So it's like a vicious cycle. I hope you understand. So this is the very wrong way, and I'm fine with it. I am totally fine with it because that's why like you need dumb people around yourself. If there are would be not dumb and average people around yourself, how somebody who's good can get highlighted? So that is a part and parcel of the world. I'm totally okay with it. I feel very confident when I know there's so much things being mishandled in these companies and everything. So I feel like whenever I make a product or something like this, I could easily beat these people. I don't have to worry about like competing with Google or any kind of company. Yes, maybe I will be afraid of some startup or something who is doing things right way, but I have no worry with competing with these kind of companies or anything. So that is it. I just wanted to know if somebody, I did shit on DSA a lot. Somebody is thinking, okay, yeah, you can practice DSA a bit, but I'm telling you, I have seen in one of the experiences I would like to share that. When I was a kind of semi-product, semi-service-based company, there, because I was senior over there, so we've been joined by a lot of interns and like first-year employees and everything, and both kind of employees have been recruited to the team, right? And I know the guy who came from this structure, like learning DSA, passing through the aptitude and reasoning, going to the lead code, and then some little bit about the actual thing which you want to work, like you have little knowledge on the AI or something like this, right? And there is a guy who came just directly without, just on the expertise basis. And when these two guys comes to my team, right, a lot of good stuff. I like my work was to divide the task and send it to those guys. At those cases, I have given a lot of beautiful work, good work. I've shared my lot of wisdom with that guy who has been expert because I know he could handle it, he could do it. So there was the communication was faster, everything was good, and more opportunity I was to go and give it to. And this guy I know that okay, his basics are right and he doesn't understand the thing. I'm not gonna go, and if he's by himself able to taught himself, that's fine. So for that guy, I would know he's probably not good with modeling something. Then that kind of work, like very dirty work, has to be assigned. I've seen, even when I was my fresher days or something, I've seen people were like that. Somebody who is not technically right, or he came with all the structural thing, and that thing probably not using is on product. So those guys are always treated with bad work, dirty work, right? Not very smart work was allocated to them. So they have never felt confident and everything, right? So just it's your, you have the choice. I think if you are applying for a service company, I think Google, Amazon, and everything, I think you go with the DSA route. You learn little bit of the actual thing just to pass the last round. If you're good some with, you will probably get a good job. But don't try to compete with somebody who have skipped those things and actually worked on things. Because whenever you're being compared with that guy, if somehow that guy is make it to your colleague or something, that guy will like ruin your all the things. So be prepared for that. Uh, I think this was, I think, a rant, I guess. I didn't mean this video go in this direction, but I hope still a lot of value in it. So I hope you have might get some valuable information from here. So probably see you in the next one.